Is Zach about to get a therapist? His mama still ain't And Connie, don't nobody care about your old coochie and how Zach used to love it. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Zatima video. And in this video, I'm breaking down season 2, episode number 2, titled Guilt Trip. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my sister's content and conversations, boo. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump on into it because this episode was a lot. It was a little heavy. Let's unpack it. Okay, so I want to start the conversation off with Zach and his mama because after the whole too much sex conversation, the side chick conversation, a little bit of hints of like, you ain't appreciating me, but not really, but like also ever since you got the ring, now you different. Zach did bring it up. And we're gonna come back to that. More important measures need to be had, and we have to discuss because Fatima pushes him to go and talk to his mom after he reveals that Jeremiah told him to come and see his mother and is calling him and he's ignoring the calls. Now Zach actually goes and he does so because Fatima told him to, and I think the whole interaction was very interesting. It led to a beautiful but very vulnerable and emotional moment towards the end. And shout out to Devale because he definitely brought it with that. I believed every bit of the tears. I believed every bit of him being distraught and feeling so dismissed and just discarded. Totally bought it. But if I go back to him going to the projects to go see his mama, and her and Jeremiah sitting outside, he don't even recognize her when they first walk up. He walked right past her, talking about Jeremiah, where mom at? She like, I'm right here. And Jeremiah is literally just slinging while we right here. So did Zach not give you $10,000 a few days ago? Where is that money? You need to go to the grocery store, but Zach just gave him a check for $10,000. Where is the money? Did y'all asses re-up with it? Because what exactly is going on? And I want to like understand, like, honestly, y'all, I'm towing the line because I feel like we have such great bones in reference to foundation for story and what Tyler Perry is choosing to talk about in this episode in reference to Zach and his mommy issues and being discarded and not taken care of, and how certain things that happen in childhood can be traumatic and affect you and can persist and really inform your adult life. Cool. But then also he makes Gladys a little bit unbelievable. Like, she's like, I have a problem. I'm like, but then also she's okay. Like, she wasn't giving me full on real crackhead. She also wasn't giving me full on recovered. I just really couldn't take her seriously by the dialogue. And I just wish that we had a little bit more time to like write out better, more well constructed and nuanced dialogue to really speak to the severity of the situation that we're in with these characters. It's a lot of, the typical Tyler Perry, I'm okay, we're like random stuff being said that doesn't need to be said. And then when things are said that could point to something, I don't feel like he expounds enough upon it. He doesn't go deep enough about it. And it just makes it weird, and it makes it so that you get it because you're watching it, but you also don't really fully connect with it. Like, I don't sympathize with Miss Gladys, and I think that if she was a more fully actualized woman at this stage, or with those certain experiences that they say that she's had, then I would sympathize with her at least a little bit, but I don't sympathize with her at all. And then she goes on in this episode to basically dupe Zach into taking her to the grocery store, giving her $100 supposedly for groceries, and then running off and leaving him at the grocery store when he is stopped by Connie to chop it up about how he just used to love her coochie. Like, the whole thing was just like, I wasn't into it. I was checked out. I was pinning things on Pinterest. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was like half watching, half listening because I just didn't buy it. Like, I do buy Zach's demeanor when he comes in contact with his family. I do get the gist of like why he decided to separate himself and create these boundaries. However, like I mentioned in my last episode breakdown, he definitely still needs to see these people and talk to these people because he needs to confront the things that happen to him. Now, how this happens moving forward, I don't know. I love that by the end of the episode, Fatima's like, we're going to find somebody for you to talk to. If we're going to get to a good place, and if we're going to move forward, we got to have everything that we need to be happy and healthy. And I'm like, about damn time y'all said it, because I've been screaming this for like, I don't know how many videos. After pretty much every single episode, y'all relationship is cute and all, y'all be having good vibey sex, and y'all little light skins are fine separately, so of course y'all together are gonna be super fine. But also, let's get down to the nitty gritty and the foundation of it all, and like, let's heal some of these childhood traumas that are plaguing you. Okay. Now, there's little banter back and forth with Zach and his mama in the car, and she's like, don't play with me. And honestly, maybe I didn't buy it, because it also didn't feel like she was fully committed to manipulating him. Like, she feels like a very, again, not fully actualized character. She's kind of like towing the line in the middle. It's like, if you are narcissistic and manipulative, then I'm gonna need you to be giving Gary, honey. If you are actually still on the rock, then I'm gonna need you to be giving a little bit more crackhead lean, honey. If you actually are remorseful in some ways, but are pulled to the comfort and the toxicity, the comfort of the toxicity of the life that you have only known, then I'm gonna need you to lean a little bit more into that. I feel like the character, or the woman playing the character, really just floated in the middle a lot, and I just didn't believe her. And I also struggled when he first walked up to like see a familial relationship of like kinship to his mother. Now, I know that she has discarded him, has disrespected him, and by the end of the episode, he's telling a story to Fatima about when he was 6 years old, how he walked in on his mother giving head to some random trucker, and she didn't even stop, which definitely scarred him. However, we typically, and this could be an atypical situation, but I'm going to say typically, even when you go through traumatic things with your parents, there's still some type of like almost like parental gravitational pull that like makes it so that you still have some kind of connection or some type of like feeling. And I don't know how to describe it. I don't think I'm articulating it correctly at all right now, y'all, but I just didn't feel that from Zach and the woman, or Zach and Gladys, or the chemistry in reference to that with Devale and whoever the lady is who's playing Zach's mama. I'm not gonna go look it up because I don't even care that much. I like the idea of presenting Gladys so that we can get a better understanding of Zach. However, for both Gladys and Jeremiah to not be redeemable, to be complete and utter trash, I'm just like, I could also not, have them, see them, experience them at all, especially if Zach is going to take his ass to therapy, because we can go ahead and process and heal without these people. I was really pushing for him confronting them because it didn't seem like he was going to go to therapy, but by the end of the episode, it seems like Fatima's going to funnel his behind that way. So, okay, all right, let's do it. Now, and coming to the end of the episode, and we get to see Zach in his car outside the house, crying and thinking, because Gladys leaving him at the grocery store in this moment reminded him of when he was 6 years old. Fatima comes into the car after she notices, and he asks like, do you love me, and all of that. Again, I believed 100% of that. I do like this element of it and what we're about to see. It's interesting because I think this also gives a little bit more information in reference to how Zach views love. And in his desperate attempt to be loved by his mother and not receive it, and then also be subjected to certain sexual things and see his mother in sexual ways, I think that there has been some type of weird cross correlation for sex and love with him, and that could also be one of the reasons why he is so just gung-ho about having sex with Fatima and just needing this immense amount of sex, because that's how he wants to, give and receive love, because he hasn't figured out or learned over the course of his life, even though his mother couldn't teach him with anybody else, he hasn't learned other ways to show up and experience love. And again, this episode kind of presented that to me as a potential option, because we still don't know the reason why Zach wants to F like a rabbit. And I thought it was interesting that he wanted to make the point of like, now that she has a ring or now that she got him. Zach, Fatima has had you pretty much from the jump. Fatima has had you since you busted in on Zach and I mean, you busted in on Karen and Aaron at that hotel, and then you slept with Fatima that night. Like, let's be for real. This wasn't a thing of her trapping you or catching you or anything. Like, she was helping you, and you got comfortable, and then y'all started smashing and y'all enjoyed it, and then you was there forever. So, like, let's not make it seem like, oh, she done did this and did that and tricked you into coming to this relationship with her, and now it's completely not the same when she's doing everything else that she had been doing, aside from letting you tear all her damn walls out and have her raw from the rooter to the tutor. Cause absolutely not. Man, it's fine to have a high sex drive, but 6 times a day is ridiculous. You're going to be breaking vaginas left and right. That's not all that friction. You know, I'm not going to go into too much depth, but no, mechanically, no, logistically, no, health wise, no, sir, we're not doing that. Got me walking around, can't sit down because no, absolutely not. Now, in that, another point that's a big point of this episode is like Zach worries that Fatima wants an open relationship, which is quickly dismayed by when she shows like what the side chick is, right? And I like that they started the conversation. I don't necessarily like his dialogue of like, you've changed and now that you got me, you want to act different, because it's a way of him deflecting. What I would love is for Fatima to call him out on deflecting, because the same thing happened in episode 1 when they were in the shower. It's like she wants to talk about why he wants to have so much sex right after they keep having sex, and she just had to grin and bear this sexual intercourse with you, and then you want to flip it on her and say, well, you don't want to talk about the things that I want to talk about when I want to talk about them. You only want to talk about things when I bring up something else because you want to deflect. That you did it yesterday, you doing it now, you do it all the damn time, and enough is enough. In this moment, you are like literally deflecting, and I would love for Fatima to call him on that. Now, by the way that we end this episode, Fatima can't be calling him on much nothing because he's in a very raw and vulnerable place. I appreciate him opening up to her about what happened with his mom. I appreciate him opening up to her and like allowing her to see him in the way that he was, crying and all that in the car, because I think that this is things that can help both of them within their relationship. One, with Zach opening up and being a little bit more vulnerable, I think that this is also going to help Fatima feel like she's safe to be vulnerable with him as well, because we saw in episode 1 how she's dead set on having her own, doing her own, and not depending a little bit too much so that she don't ever get disappointed. And it's just like, girl, not you showing up for Zach in the best way possible and deciding not to get out the car even though he told you can go ahead, go to bed, but you're going to sit there and let him cry, and you're going to be with him just so he know that the presence is there. Come to find out he has a issue with abandonment. So in this moment, you not abandoning him is doing the utmost, and you won't even open yourself up a tiny teensy bit for him to be able to reciprocate. Now, what I will say, y'all, after I just read that whole thing, I also know that Zach has not shown that he will be able to meet her where she's at. So it is going to be a little give and take. But also, Fatima, it's time. Open up. Because if you're trying to marry this man, you're going to have to take a chance on opening up and being vulnerable regardless. Because if you're not able to be vulnerable in your relationship, then your ass shouldn't be in it. Point blank, period. Now, in other non-interesting news, at least for me, Angela's still avoiding talking to Bryce, which she don't want to officially break it off. And this was mentioned in episode 1, but then there's a phone call that happens and Fatima's asking and she's like deflecting because she don't want to break it off, and she don't even want to simply talk to him about the kiss that happened with Zach. So she's basically avoiding Bryce. I don't personally care about it, but I just thought I'd mention it. Most of this episode was definitely about Zach, his mama, his whole situation, and a little bit about the conversations that they had. Again, I really enjoy watching Fatima support Zach when he returned home and seeing him in his brokenness. I'm still kind of unpacking Zach's abandonment issues that he's like basically speaking of, but not necessarily putting those words in towards the end of the episode. And the thing that irritated me the most about this episode was definitely Connie. Connie running into Zach and being completely too forward. I was also like, girl, we already have this character in the Zatima universe. Her name is Deja. We do not need another Deja running around. We definitely don't need a Deja that's a blast from the damn past. Like, Zach, I don't know what's going on with you and your penis, but the fact that you are erect in this grocery store after running behind your mama who was basically stealing from you and you don't trust any damn way is beyond me, sir. I don't like thirsty ass Connie. She's definitely giving con woman Connie. And what is actually happening? Now, what I will speak about in reference to the whole run-in with Connie is that Fatima calls him and he kind of stutters a little bit before he says, I love you, to get off the phone. He lies and says it's a homeboy that he knew from back in the day. And I'm just like, why are you doing any of that? You haven't even seen this girl in God knows how long. Why does what she think or what she hears even matter? And it's things like this that make me really, really nervous, y'all. Like in season 1, y'all know once the Zach attack had appeared and the whole questionable situation with Deja and him getting drunk and doing all the extra stuff, I was like, wow, his old ways are not gone. He has definitely not changed. And it's little things like this as well that make me be like, sir, how do you want me to really jump on board and root for you when you are literally 1 foot in and 1 foot out? It's these moments that you actually stake your claim in your life and reaffirm the life that you have chosen for yourself and that you are seemingly fighting so hard for. You reaffirm it in moments like this, like the blast from the past hoe that wants to jump on top of your pole. This is where you reaffirm your love for Fatima. This is where you reaffirm your current relationship status that you wanted so damn bad. This is where you validate your current life choices, and instead you decide to continue to deflect, kind of borderline lie, and maintain, I guess, some type of connection with your past. Zachary, it's a no for me. And the whole Connie run-in really just kind of annoyed me. And that's it, y'all. That is what I took from episode 2, season 2. It was a different beat, like a little different tone and tempo to the episode. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. It's your good sis you love to talk TV with. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, because you made it all the way to the end and I know you liked it. Now I'm headed to the comment section to see what y'all saying about the episode so we can keep the conversation going. And I'm gonna see you in the next video.